So how many of us are music? How many of us gravitate to just music? How many of us rely just on music? Now let me go into detail of that. So I know with this field, it's very easy to just stick to bars or use our voice with that of the musical mechanism, and I'll say it as well. That's the only way to get things heard through that way of expression down to things we're after, the things that we probably face and our issues. Because I know not every rapper, not every artist attacks different points, whether it be personal or external, in the same way. Now, my thing is this: I feel like just so for the as one rapper speaking out to the community of them, my category just above, just below. I think it's important that we always try our best to step outside of the box and not do what the expected thing is. But I feel like a lot of artists are afraid to do that now. Me personally, I'm not bothered whether people follow me, whether people scroll past, whether people even see it for 5 minutes. You at least see that the portfolio expands. Sometimes that's even with bits of knowledge. That's even with wisdom, as stoic as one can try and make it to be. Things that get the brain going, provoke the brain, provoke dormant functions in the brain. Always get us guessing. Knowledge that makes us privy to where we come from. Knowledge that may determine where we're going. I try my best to be as cultural as possible, as well as being musical and fun for the listeners and the watchers. But I'm not saying people have to directly take a leaf out of my book or to actually study what I'm doing directly, but I think, as I said before, at Lax TV, I don't want to just attack it through the music side of things. There's articles that I may spawn in the future to do with a more political aspect, a more cultural aspect. Especially even with like what's going on in the world today, as boring as it is, it's important that to a certain degree we are, I think I said this before, privy to the news that we receive, or the news that's just out there that many of us choose to just ignore it because it's boring. Do you know what I mean? I know politics, and I know just the conscious aspect is only popular to the select few that that utilize that information or see it as well. If I didn't know this, then I'd probably be lost a couple of days or a couple of weeks from now. Probably even some years. There's many things that they're putting in action. That a lot of us just turn a blind eye to because it doesn't have a backing track, or it doesn't have wordplay behind it. And the real literate people would know that wordplay doesn't just rely on that of a 4/4 tempo or an offbeat or whatever kind. Music is an unspoken thing. Music is an unharnessed thing, and sometimes the music comes from the pain of people, and it's probably not as melodic. It's probably expressed through that same anger and aggression to get people to wake up, to get people to see things that they should have, or things that are just in our face, and we literally just it's not turning our brains on at all. The way we're gonna stay connected to what's going on is if we keep our brains in constant motion, constant function. You know what I mean? All down to a point where your master realities in your dreams. I'm probably saying too much, man. The FBI might come knock down my door, but yeah, I think some of you already kind of gather the gather the notion of what I meant. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like for a group of people or a collective then that has one of the loudest voices ever, do you know what I mean? And that could be down to, again, something personal or something external. We should be people that are proper into the scripting of this stuff should manipulate it in a more positive direction. So even the artists after us, when we're not as young no more, can be like, well, alright then, cool. I know my man, I know Lax, I know this person, I know that person didn't attack this thing on an unexpected thing where people's like, oh yeah, it's just gonna make another tune again, just gonna sing another song again. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what they do. But there's so many of us that I've heard. I've spoken to, and they know who they are as well. I've spoken to some artists off camera that have such a vast knowledge. That it'd be so useful to use on a platform, whether it be repost, whether it be whatever, and they talk on certain things. I'm gonna aspire to do that. I try my best to like give advice to people, but I'm also gonna try and see if I can get some articles that I can talk about. You know what I mean? Many of people that I know, I don't know of, have the capability of doing. You know what I mean? I just don't want it to be a thing where the influence that's close to us, whether it be individual or as a group, start to dictate, where that goes later on. Because again, whether or not it's a thing that we like to hear, it's a thing that needs to be heard. This can expand, and you're not just limited to the look, the status, the brand of what you're trying to create. This is so people don't fuck with your brand worse. The people that's already trying to set the imbalance off with this thing. Now I know who's gonna listen is gonna listen, and who ain't. Do you know what I mean? That's fine. But provided I've sparked the brains that have been listening or are starting to, I know that's work within itself. And I guess at some point I'd have to prove it as well, which I got no problem doing. But I think it's time. There's a lot of serious things going on, and this is a very serious time. So I know knowledge is key, and it matters probably more than any bar that I'll spit and record and show people. But this is something, as you can see, I've got some passion behind it. But yes, I feel that artists especially have that power to do so. It's just general consensus that makes us afraid. That's general consensus that makes us second guess that. Is it a wise idea? How am I going to stay relevant through it? Or trust me, the real relevancy is the spirit. Real relevancy is higher consciousness. And the moment people start to realize that, the more clearer things in your life will be. Peace, manners, love, respect all the time. Blessed love.